Not that long ago I talked about the main problem with tanks in Marvel Rivals, why it feels like such a chore and a struggle to play a tank, and the issues that come with it, so now I'm going to talk about the healer and strategist role, the most grueling and mentally taxing role in the game. Because let's face it, no matter how good you are of a healer, you're the punching bag for your team. Being a healer main or even playing healer is rough, because you're either a healer main, where that is what you primarily play, or you're trying to fill, but either way you're getting yelled at all the time. I don't want to just discuss the negatives though, I actually want to talk about how they can fix the role a little bit, make it a little bit more engaging where people actually want to play this role more, and go over different strategist characters they could add to the game. Unfortunately, they already told us that they have the next 3 to 4 seasons at the very least already mapped out, and it's not looking too good by the looks of it. We're getting more DPS, but they did acknowledge the lack of tanks and healers in this game and said they're gonna rectify this, so at least the devs are aware of this. But for the meantime, it's a lose-lose situation. You're either relegated to playing one of the main healers that's considered good or meta that has a healer ult, or you're gonna play one of the other healers and get yelled at the entire time. Even if you play one of the better healers, you're probably still gonna get yelled at. If you're a healer main that primarily plays healer, let's be honest, eventually you're gonna get sick of the role and want to take a break from it, play something else. But if you do, there's a chance you might not even get healed. You might have one healer on your team or maybe none. And the ones you do get are gonna be absolutely filling, because even though people do try to fill and be a team player, I'm noticing now more and more that people do not know how to play the role. Like, they cannot survive for 1 second on their own. They won't even attempt to heal you when you're right in front of them, and most of the time it doesn't even seem intentional. It's like the positioning is all off. Lately I've been getting healers that are pushing in the front. They don't see you, they don't see divers coming in advance, they have no anticipation skills. It's just a lot of people filling, because the unfortunate reality is you cannot really win a game without healers, and that's the problem. Despite being the harshest role in the game, you need a healer. You can win a game without a tank, you can win a game without DPS. It is incredibly rare to win a game without a healer unless the skill gap is huge. So unlike the tank role where you can get away with just having one, healers you at least need 2, sometimes you even need 3 to counter their triple heals, or you don't even stand a chance of winning and you're just wasting 15 minutes of your life. Which brings me to the next problem, it's very hard to carry as a healer. It can be done, but it's harder than the other roles, which means you gotta babysit your DPS and your tanks, but also do damage, try to get kills, and do it all. And that's not even considering the fact that every single offensive ultimate's gonna be targeted at your head. Anyone playing this game that has even the most basic game sense is targeting the healers, especially with their ultimates. So on top of everything else, you have to dodge those all game long, while you're getting pinged non-stop and you have to carry. This makes it incredibly frustrating for healer mains, but also makes it hard to learn the role, because you're gonna get discouraged, get screamed at, and get targeted all game trying to learn this role, and nobody starts out really good at a role. It takes time and practice, and you need this time and practice to hone your skills. Out of all 3 roles, I find this the most difficult. It's also incredibly frustrating because I know when I play healer, I can make my DPS and tanks look way better than they are. And I know who to prioritize with the bulk of my healing, in order to give my team the best chance at winning. It is incredibly rare to see somebody peel back to help you, and although I'll play devil's advocate here and I'll admit, healers do need to get better at having even the most basic survival skills and situational awareness on average, but man, you are really left on your own in the backlines, and it seems like almost everyone plays dive. At least every other game there's a Black Panther, a Magic, a Spider-Man, or a Cap. I will also admit though, there should be a stat of healing received. Personally, as a healer and as a DPS or tank, I would like this. When I play DPS, and even I try to play Namor and Scarlet sometimes to help out my healers, and I'm right in front of them and they won't even heal me all game, there'll actually be a stat that I can point to say, hey look, you didn't heal me at all. But at the same time, as somebody that plays healer, I would love a healing received stat, because I can point to that Punisher that went 0-8 and say, stop pinging me and blaming heals. I've been healing you just as much as everyone else. So stop complaining and stop throwing. I just feel like this stat would eliminate the toxic DPS whining, but also eliminate the toxic healers that actually just don't look at you. I see it as a win-win. Now here is the main problem with the role outside of everything I just talked about. The healer ults. Unfortunately, we cannot go back in time now, but I wish the devs never even added one healer ult in the game. Each strategist should have a unique ultimate that helps your team survive in a sense, or a gimmick that helps them win a fight, but healer ults just kind of break the game, because they're expected and relied on through the meta to win. I think every healer ult should be like an Adam Warlock res ult. Invisible Woman should have a shield ult, maybe Luna Snow summons a hail ice storm to do damage. You can mix it with Storm itself, create another elemental tornado. Jeff already has a unique type ult. Loki could keep his ult the way it is. They should have gave Cloak and Dagger like a darkness, some kind of buff ult, I don't know. Invisible Woman, it could be like a shield, invisible ult, everyone goes invisible for like 6 seconds, that could have been cool. I'm just spitballing here, but the problem is now, everyone's expecting a healer ult every game. If there never was any healer ults to begin with, there would be no healer ults in the meta. You'd have to rely on uniqueness, more clutch plays, getting kills, and situational awareness, like a good Adam res at the right moment type thing. And speaking of Adam Warlock, think of how unique his ultimate would have been, and how clutch it would be if there was no healer ults in the game. It would be such a unique ult to res everyone in a big moment. Because even the people that make an attempt to try to learn the role of healer but don't necessarily want to play Loki or Luna, the two most common meta picks, or maybe Cloak and Dagger, maybe they want to play Ultron or Jeff. But at least once a day, multiple times, I'm hearing people complain about which healer you play. So on top of everything else, you're trying to play healer, the most mentally taxing role in the game, and you're getting yelled at by which healer you're playing. DPS get to select from a wide variety of characters that do different things. Tanks are kind of in the same boat, they need more diversity, but they're still a lot more fun to play than healer on average. But even if you're trying to play healer, be a good healer, be a good teammate, you're gonna get screamed at half the time because of which healer you select, making the already small hero pool to pick from even smaller. And then if you don't cave, you get blamed for throwing. Yesterday I played a competitive match in Domination on the Asgard map, and we won the first 2 rounds. We didn't even need a 3rd round, like we won. But we had someone on our team bitching and blaming Jeff the entire time, like yelling, scolding at him, and finally I'm like, hey man, relax. The Jeff even stated at the beginning of the game that he's not used to playing healer and he's gonna try Jeff. I told him it's fine, if he's struggling, if we're losing, I'll switch with him, I'll flex healer, no problem. I really didn't want to play healer because yesterday I was playing really good as Psylocke, like I was on fire, so I wanted to keep the momentum going. Some days you're hot, some days you're cold, I wanted to keep that momentum. But there was communication already established, so I didn't see the problem, and we won both rounds, easy. And this Jeff got scolded the entire time by this Bucky we had. Then a few games later, I'm playing Cloak and Dagger because everybody on my team picked DPS except for we had one tank. And we had a blade, so I thought, okay, I'll give him the team up. We were able to push the cart past the first point, then we got stopped. By the end of it all, I had 12 final hits. I had over 25k healing. That was just after offense. We haven't even went on defense yet. The next closest to me was a Moon Knight with 3 final hits. Nobody could do anything. And I had more final hits than my entire team combined as Cloak and Dagger. And I even killed their Rocket Raccoon twice. And I understand that sometimes you are just going to get unlucky with teammates, like that's just part of the game. But the audacity to blame me for the loss. So having to deal with DPS with massive egos is another hurdle that you have to deal with. I try to be always thankful when I have a really good healer on my team. If I'm struggling as DPS, it happens. I will offer to switch with anyone that wants to. I have no issue doing that. I don't think people understand we need more healer mains in this game. They need to make this role more fun, add more heroes, but they obviously need to add more healer characters to make the role more diverse and fun so people want to play it. But even the people that attempt to do it, they're getting yelled at the entire time. Like, are we stupid here? We need more healer mains in the game. Do you not want more people to play healer so you can play other things? If somebody's learning the role, help them, encourage them, give them advice. Don't yell at them. And even if they're playing Jeff or some other healer you just don't want to see in the game or don't want on your team, Your only option then is to play healer yourself or stop complaining. It doesn't matter if they're bad or not, they're trying to heal. The audacity to tell somebody which healer they can and cannot play when they're trying to do the right thing is crazy. It is at the end of the day a video game, and you might say, well, it's competitive though. Well then fine, you play the role. Now unfortunately we're stuck with healer alts. I don't think they're going to remove them out of the game, like that's never going to happen. It sucks that they were ever added to begin with. This was always meant to be a fun, casual game, but every game turns competitive. Even single-player games, like the community will always form a meta, overanalyze, dissect the numbers, and it will always be relegated to you have to play these characters to even have a chance of winning. That's just a reality now, it sucks. So any new healer that doesn't get a healer alt but gets a unique alt like Jeff, Adam Warlock, Ultron, they're always going to be labeled as second tier and not viable. It's unfortunate. I think the game would be so much more dynamic to have strategists that have crazy gimmicks rather than just healer alts. But it doesn't mean there's no hope for the role. And I want to discuss now which heroes and which Marvel characters they could actually add to spice up being a strategist and maybe have more people play the role then. The first character, and one I've mentioned before, is MODOK. A pretty significant Avengers villain, and we definitely need more villains in the game. MODOK is known for his intelligence but his psychic powers. So the potential move pool for MODOK, the sky's the limit. Maybe have some disable type gimmick, some shielding. I can see MODOK having a team up with Ultron, Iron Man. Another Marvel character that I think would fit Strategist is Mysterio. Probably would be another flyer, but who cares? We need more healers anyway, and I think he would have a badass kit. Personally, I'd like him to be similar to Ultron, more of an offensive strategist. Ultron is the gateway to have DPS Instalocks actually play healer. Would you rather have an Ultron or have a 5th DPS? You pick. I can see Mysterio being something similar. I think Mysterio would probably have a team up with Spider-Man maybe. That one's a little bit tough. The Sentinels or As Sentinel could be another strategist, and this could have a team up with pretty much any of the X-Men. This could be more of a tanky healer with a higher HP, maybe better at dealing with dive, harder to kill. The Wasp would be another one too. If she could shrink down, fly, and shoot you, she would be hard to dive as well. If they add the Wasp to the game, I can tell you right now I'm gonna main this character. And then add Hank Pym Ant-Man as a tank, being regular size that can go big but also go small to get away. Shrink down to do more damage but lower HP. Increase your size to increase your HP but also do bare minimum damage just to survive and tank out. That could be interesting. And then have a team up with the Wasp. The Vision, I think, would be another good strategist that could team up with Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, obviously Ultron, Iron Man, maybe even Reed Richards, I don't know. Hank Pym. Another great strategist idea and another villain would be the Leader. And I think everyone could agree we need more Hulk characters. Maybe while doing healing, the Leader could give you some gamma boost, some damage boost, maybe add it to the Hulk Namor one. Charles Xavier, obviously Professor X flying around in his chair. I mean, we gotta add this to the game. There is no way they're not gonna add Xavier, right? And he would obviously be a strategist, I would assume. He's not gonna be a tank. DPS, maybe. We don't need more of those, though. And there's so many good characters that could already be a DPS. Like Deadpool, he has to be a DPS. Like, you cannot make him anything else. It wouldn't even make sense. Even Deadpool would break the fourth wall and bitch because he's not a DPS. But Xavier, the team-ups, oh man, Wolverine, Magneto, Jean Grey, Storm, Cyclops when they add him. Pretty much any of the X-Men. Speaking of X-Men, Rogue, her entire kit could be made up of other X-Men that we don't have in the game yet, making for an incredibly diverse and unique strategist that's even hard to predict. Jubilee could be another one as well, also having team up with the X-Men. Shuri could be another one, teaming up with Black Panther because my god, as a Magic main, they need to overhaul this team up or switch it up a little bit. It's not that I dislike it, it's just, it is one of the few team ups of the original game in Season 0 that they haven't touched. Like, when are they going to change this, man? Shuri would be a great option for Black Panther, and another Wakanda character. Agatha would be another excellent option, having a similar kit to Scarlet Witch but a strategist. I picture her being a hybrid of Cloak and Dagger and Scarlet Witch, something along those lines, but more the cloak side of it, not dagger. And it would be a nice team up with Scarlet Witch to add to the Doctor Strange one. Another good option could be Mephisto. Maybe he could be a strategist that has a similar kit to Doctor Strange with some gimmicks and portals, some magic. Not even exactly sure what that would look like, but the game could use more villains and a Doctor Strange character. Although this is one of the most anticipated characters for me personally to add, one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I'd like Green Goblin to be a DPS if I had it my way, I would actually be okay if they made him a strategist. With some DPS capabilities, and he'd probably be a flyer, let's be honest, or at least have the option to fly. Like maybe the Green Goblin isn't flying on his glider all times, but for his ultimate he is? I don't know. It's just an option. Team him up with Spider-Man and add Sandman as a tank, like it's right there. Howard the Duck could be another very niche strategist. We already have Jeff, the Shark, Rocket Raccoon. Why not add Howard the Duck? His kit could be literally anything. But those are just some options off the top of my head. I'm sure you guys will have your own ideas for different characters they could add as a healer in this game. Let me know in the comments what you come up with. Overall, healer is the most important role in the game. You can't win without them, yet they get scrutinized, you get yelled at for being a healer all the time. Everyone targets you all game, it gets frustrating, and my personal hope is that they improve the role in a way and make it fun so more people want to play it and actually get good at it. Add some fan favorite characters in the role so people will be encouraged to play it more. And hopefully, despite people bitching about it all the time, they're not just adding healer alts to every single new one they add. Because even for Jeff the Shark that gets scrutinized all the time, a Jeff alt in the right hands can be deadly. You can swallow up a cloak and dagger, spit them off the map while they alt, rendering them useless and clutching domination by killing 5 people all at once. Rocket Raccoon used to be another punching bag and scapegoat before they rehauled his entire ultimate. The Amplifier would have been a good alt if there was no healer alts in the game. But Rocket mains got shit on all the time, so they had to update it so it actually had healing qualities. So now it is basically a healer alt. Loki has one of the most interesting dynamic ultimates in the game. Marvel Rivals did a fantastic job with making a hero shooter with Marvel characters, but they actually feel like the characters. Unlike a game like Fortnite that you play with a lot of different characters and different skins, but the gameplay is all the same, you're just shooting a gun and doing whatever. The characters all feel dynamic and like the characters, very comic book accurate. And Loki's ultimate has such potential to be really whatever the situation needs you to do, and you can still do that, but if you're playing in a highly competitive game, Loki's basically relegated now to just copying a healer alt. How boring and how underwhelming. It would just be so nice to see other ultimates get their time to shine and be more useful, rather than see Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow's ult every game and then see Loki copy that to do it all over again. For over 20 seconds where nothing dies, it's boring and it's the same thing that you expect every game. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.